Hello, I'm Doc Owen with Action Figure Times. We're continuing Arkham Days by actually going back into yesteryear and looking at the first series from DC Direct, from the Arkham Asylum series. Now, this is actually, we're going to be looking at the Batman figure today, the initial figure of the wave. Now, this is actually a battle-damaged Batman figure that was limited to only 4,000, and he actually ended up coming out before the regular series did. Now, we're not going to be opening this figure. The reason is I've only recently paid off the medical bills of my editor from the last coronary I gave him when I opened up an exclusive figure during Flashpoint. You remember the Professor Zoom that was limited, and I just ripped it open? Well, my editor, you know, he's fine now, but he spent an extended period of time having to get over that, and it was quite costly for me, and so I won't be doing that this time. In fact, I actually had several emails asking me, what the heck am I doing? Hey, it's a toy. I just opened it, okay? Now, which is okay, because I'll be honest with you, this battle-damaged Batman is a figure that has, well, the concept of him has really ticked me off, and let me explain why. When I got the Arkham Asylum video game, I thought it was very, very cool. You see Batman come in. I mean, a tremendously great game. Great game. It was lots of fun. I still go back and play it from every now and again. But in the game, eventually, you end up, you know, the more you get hit, the more ruffled your uniform seems to get, okay? So I went back specifically because I did not like my Batman with the cut bat on his chest, or the frayed uniform, or the cape in tatters. I didn't really dig that. So really what I wanted I wanted to go through and play looking like Batman and not being touched and stuff. And so I was being meticulous, real careful as I played, making sure no one touched me because I didn't want a destroyed bat suit, okay? Well, you know what? When the elevator drops, and where I think Croc was in the elevator, or when the Titan comes and there's an explosion, it just rips your uniform automatically. Pissed me off. I'm like, I've been working all this time, and it is kind of at the beginning of the game, but I'm going to have to do it anyway. There's no way I can get around this. So as far as I'm concerned, anyway. But, oh, just so you know, as we look at this figure, the only real differences with this one are he's got a torn chest emblem, he's got torn, like, claw marks on the side of him right there, and his cape is a little bit tattered. He's also got some uniform missing on his leg. I mean, it's basically, with the exception of the cape redo, it's a pretty straight repaint. Of course, this cape might have holes in it too. I haven't seen it. But anyway, so those of you who, you know, you don't have to send any cards or anything to my editor. He's doing fine now. But if I rip this open, you know, it'd be another couple weeks in the hospital or something. I just can't do that to him. He's too good of a person to me. Anyway. But this is an entirely different matter. So here we are looking at the Batman figure. Very, very cool. Hopefully you can see this. It's actually in the outline of Batman's cowl. I think that is too cool. It's kind of got a little bit of a stand, so if you had to stand him up, you can. So that's kind of neat if you didn't want to open him up. Of course, we're going to. The back has the other figures in this wave, and we'll be looking at each one of this, which is Harley, the Joker with a Scarface puppet, and then Scarecrow, who was, it's actually a kind of a cool addition to the game. So anyway, let's go ahead. It's got the Batman Arkham Asylum logo right there, but let's go ahead and get him open. Yeah, it was funny. I called my editor, and he's like, you know, I was sitting there thinking, he's just going to show us. He says, and then you started ripping it. I mean, really, it was wild. I like DC Direct stuff. I think Jim Fletcher and the crew over there do an awesome job. I can see right away that the cape is not torn. Okay, so that's not going to be a big deal. I get to keep my complete Batman. Hey, I tell you what, this is going to take me a minute ripping these, he's got these little tie-ins and stuff. Let me get them out and I'll be right back with you. Okay, so I finally got him out. It took a little bit longer than I actually anticipated. Now, one thing I will say is cool, you see the background of this, you can kind of see not only is this his head, but it kind of looks like you're on the island. You can see a little bit of pieces as though you're looking out to the bay. I think that's actually pretty cool. There is a stand that comes with him. It's a very plain Jane small stand. As you've heard me say in the past, I'm actually kind of cool with this because they don't take as much room up on the shelf. And so a lot of times I can group my figures a lot closer together. So I don't know how much trouble he's going to have standing. It really doesn't look at all. So I'm not even positive that I really need the stand. A couple things that I can tell you that I do not like right off. And I'm not sure you can see this. If not, you'll be able to see it when we're close up. He's got a blue cowl and a black cape. Now, I personally am not a real big fan of the blue looking stuff. I'd rather see him in the black outfit. But I especially do not like the fact that I've got a blue cowl and a black cape. I don't like that at all. Now, let me say something else about getting him out. You see these wings, right? Or I don't know exactly what you on his gauntlets. Dude, those things are not kid friendly. They're barely dock friendly. I was trying to get him out of there, and it stuck me in my hand. Now, he does come with a batarang. That's kind of cool. And again, you'll get to see this on the close-up. Nice looking thing, though. Very, very cool. I don't know if you've been watching Young Justice, but you know they actually pulled out a batarang and showed whether it would work or not, and the guy actually did pretty good with it. He does have some posability. Now, I will say this. This is probably one of the best Batman sculpts I've ever seen. If he had white eyes, I would like it even more. You know, one of the things that I see missing in the game for me, and it's probably just because I prefer Batman with whited out eyes, is they show us his eyes, and I understand the whole thing about conveying emotion and all this other stuff, but you could have him squint and all that. To me, I'd rather see him with the white eyes and stuff. Anyway, his arm will turn, and we'll look at this again in a minute. I do like it how it kind of hangs over the shoulders a little bit. Nice hand. It's really actually very, very nice. If they got the paint right with the black and the blue, actually this would have been a great figure. There are no holes in the back of the cape, so he doesn't have that battle damage. And when we look at it, make sure you look in case I forget to mention, as we look at him close up, you can kind of see the rivets of the suit. I don't know if I like that. But belt is kind of cool. But let's go ahead and look at him close up. Hey, before we look at him too close, let's actually do this. Here is, this is the Arkham City Mattel version. So you can kind of see the size difference and the way it is. I actually like the fact that the gauntlets are so much larger on these. I think that makes it look really, really cool. I think it's actually very, very nice as far as figures goes. Now, one thing I will say, to me, he might need to be a little bit more trimmed down, just slightly. But overall, I think he's got a good build. But now, let's look at him close up. Okay, so here we are looking at the battle damage up close inside the package. Now, you can see there the two lines that I'm talking about. There's a rip in the uniform, and there's that one that kept getting me in the game that still ticks me off. And then you can kind of see down here on his leg, he's got some paint splatter and a cut. All in all, it's a pretty cool figure. But let's go ahead and look at the bad boy himself, figure that it's based upon. Here we go. Now, check this out. Look at this paint application. I mean, this to me is truly amazing. Look at that. Now, just to show by comparison, this is a figure we're going to be reviewing shortly, this is the Mattel version of the dark blue. I just love the coloring. Man, this is really very, very cool. Now, as we look at this, as you can kind of see the way the paint lines and stuff like that. I don't really like the fact that this is dark blue and that this is black. The cape is black, the cowl is blue. Don't really like that at all. Don't really like these points where the armor connects together. He's got the blue gauntlets, you can see there. As far as articulation, kind of moves this way. I also like these ears. I think they did a great job on the ears. The belt is very nice. You know, unfortunately, they don't have a lot of articulation. Again, and I was calling them DC Direct, but they're actually DC Collectibles now. Man, they would rule the world if they would just get articulation. Got a little bit of movement there, nothing with the ankle and stuff. And the cape is basically a soft pliable plastic. And look at those gauntlets. Those things are huge. Well, I hope you've enjoyed looking at this, the DC Collectibles Batman Arkham Asylum Batman, and also getting a sneak, well, not a sneak peek, but a look at the battle damage Batman. You still might be able to get a hold of these because these are very, very cool figures, and I actually really, really like these. I think they're a great likeness. You know, a couple of imperfections like the cowl and stuff, but hey, up on a shelf, it kind of blends together. Anyway, this is Doc Owen. Remember, this Arkham Days is just getting started. We're going to have something great for you again tomorrow. We greatly appreciate DC Collectibles cooperating with us on this. The great team over there. Also, remember, we've got some great prizes coming up that you're going to want to avail yourself of. Make sure you come to the boards and visit with us and make your comments. Also, if you'll come to the site, we'll have some close-up shots of this figure so that you can really get a look at him and down to the nitty-gritty details. Hope you've enjoyed looking at this. Be extraordinary. This is Doc Owen with Action Figure Times, and we'll see you next time.